Oh, di sini. Oh. Oh, yang ujung. Oh.
Bismillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, Mr. Al-Mustaqeem Mahmod Radhi. And also Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. All right, thank you. Welcome to our forum titled The Future of the Translation Industry in Malaysia. My name is Putri Nurul Christina and I am a student from Academy of Language Studies, and together with my co-moderator,
I'm Damia Aisha binti Ahmad Fuad, and we will be your moderators for today's session. Thank you all for joining us today. We are very excited to have a relaxed and insightful conversation with our special guest, Mr. Al-Mustaqeem Mahmod Radhi. Don't worry, we'll keep the session chill and engaging. And of course, we are truly honored to welcome our guest today, Mr. Al-Mustaqeem Mahmod Radhi, Chief Editor at INISIATIF BUKU DARUL EHSAN, IBDE, and a respected figure in the Malaysian translation landscape. For those who may not know, Mr. Mustaqeem has translated major works such as Animal Farm by George Orwell. This is the most famous book I think you have translated, and I think I have seen it all over TikTok before. He also translated Islamic book like Muhammad, His Life Based on the Earlier Sources by Martin Links.
before we begin with the question segment, I'm going to read a disclaimer in Bahasa Melayu. Penafian, maklumat yang disampaikan dalam program siaran langsung ini adalah bagi tujuan pembudayaan ilmu sahaja. Ianya hanyalah pendapat dan komen peribadi panel serta moderator dan bukan pendirian rasmi universiti. Pihak universiti tidak bertanggungjawab mengenai komen dan pendapat yang dikeluarkan atau disampaikan oleh panel dan moderator.
Okay, thank you, Putri. Today's forums aims to explore three important aspects of the translation field: opportunities, challenges, and innovations. These three areas are crucial in understanding how the industry is changing and how young translators, especially students like us, can prepare for a future in this field.
Yeah, we know that translation is not only about changing words to another word. It actually plays a major role in knowledge sharing, cultural understanding, and even national development. For example, like the book Animal Farm by George Orwell. You actually translated the title of the book to politik kandang, right? So it doesn't translate it to from another word to another word in literal meaning. So today's discussion will help us understand where the Malaysian translation industry is really headed. Before we dive into the main topics, Mr. Al-Mustaqeem, would you like to have this discussion in Dwi Bahasa or English, or do you prefer both? Okay, could you please introduce yourself and share a little bit about your journey in translation?
I think was said is enough actually about myself. Basically, I'm a translator. That's why I didn't. Basically, I'm a translator. I started as a journalist, but not really a journalist because I was working for like a political party newspaper, more or less. So I started as that and then became an editor for a cultural arts and culture magazine for 1 year. And by then I already started doing translation because when I was working for the newspaper, actually I did translation too. I translated articles and news, especially from Middle East, including from Israel. So news on what's going on in Palestine from both perspective, actually, from Israelite and also from the Palestinian perspective, but mainly from Israel, from the more, I guess, more liberal authors, more liberal writers, those who are supporting Palestinian cause. But book translation, not long since then. After that, book translation, I started actually with an Arabic book. I remember, I think the first one was The Journey of Rashid Rida. I don't know which. I don't know. I can't. I'm bad at remembering years, but basically, he's one of the renowned reformers, from Egypt, and ulama, well-known reformers, and also the author of the famous tafsir Al-Manar. So he had a he used to write in this probably the most famous magazine in Islamic world, Al-Imam, if I'm not mistaken, the title of the magazine. He used to do write his journals, write his journeys in the magazine. So that's the first book I translated, and I remember. I think this one is related to with IBDE, so I guess I will tell a bit. When I was doing that first book, we tried to do the best. And by then, book industry in Malaysia, the book cover are not so nice, so we tried to do something about that. So a friend of mine, a UiTM graduate, did a painting for that book, so to become the cover of the book. So it's a I think oil paint. So for the cover, and then while in the process of doing the layout, the proofreading and everything, I had a help of a friend who's now the Chief Minister of Selangor. He fell asleep under the desk trying to come out with the best book. So that's a bit of the history of how IBDE is getting the support of Selangor State. So basically the idea to produce not only the best content, but also, in terms of packaging, presentation, layout, cover design. So that's the height. So yeah, that's my involvement. Is about translation, book publishing, writing, authorship, literary effort. Thanks.
That's actually a very interesting.
Oh, sorry, I'm bad at formal salutation. So to all the cikgus, Cikgu Aris who invited me. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Now that we have hear from you, now I would like to start with something like, so Mr. Al-Mustaqeem, if you were not in the translation industry right now, what job do you think you'd be doing instead?
Van driver. Nah, I can't imagine doing something else. Basically, I'm a writer and a translator. At one point, I felt like I'm too lazy to try to find ideas of my own. So I thought, I just translate on doing translation, because translation is a tough job too. Yeah. So yeah.
So you are really passionate in translation and writing and whatnot, right?
Yeah, translation mostly writing. Yes, I used to. I dabble in poetry. I've been a judge for Hadiah Selangor, the poetry judge for the Hadiah Selangor, Hadiah Sastra Selangor, I think, competition for a number of years. But yeah, not a very good poet, so leave it to. No, I am. I mean, I prefer doing literary translation. For instance, translating poems, poetry, novels. That's why I did George Orwell, and I wish I have time to do more novels. Poetry, not so sure. I started translating George Orwell's The Wasteland, but come to the second part, I got stuck. Couldn't feel. I mean, it's the different feeling from the first part, so just couldn't get into that. I'm also working on this poet Nikola Madzirov. Also, a bit more than halfway. So let's see if it will be completed. But yeah, actually, I prefer doing literary translation novels, especially. Just not in a, even you mentioned that George Orwell is very well known internationally, not so much in Malaysia. So we don't sell much of that translation, many copies of the translated work here in Malaysia. The most popular actually is Muhammad by Martin Links. We actually now we have we have sold 120,000 copies of that book. And Muhammad is a biography, but is in English, is in the best, highest form of English. It's written, is a very like excellent top form English, and is acknowledged as that. So translating that, you didn't just translate a biography, but you actually you are translate literary work. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, thank you, Mr. Al-Mustaqeem. I love that actually. I love when you're explaining, because I didn't know that things. Since this is a casual forum, we will actually want to ask something a bit fun. And I think it is the thing that we both have been curious about, because we actually go through your biodata, and you're actually study for Sharia in Islamic studies, right? So how do you switch like from Islamic studies to translation, and how can you make your career as a transition until now?
I don't know, but I'm always aware since when I was in school. So I went to Sekolah Arab. We call it Sekolah Arab. By then, they call it Sekolah Arab. Now they call Sekolah Agama. Right? My generation, we call it Sekolah Arab. We studied in Arabic since Form 1, all the textbooks in Arabic. But since even from those days, there's one thing I'm quite certain. I'm very sure I don't want to be an ustaz. That's why I said van driver. Because after I graduated, when trying to find work, never applied to be an ustaz, never applied to be a qadi, never applied to be a sheikh. I even was willing. I went to apply to be a van driver, as long as it's not an ustaz. Didn't get the job though. So I guess, yeah. I want to learn religion. I want to learn Arabic. It's a beautiful language, but I don't want to be an ustaz. That's bottom line is I don't want to be an ustaz. So anything else? Somehow, I always have interest in. I love reading. I grew up when I grew up, actually this in 70s, in early 70s, in early 80s. Not many TV around. Not many TV.
Yeah.
I remember even, and then my my father refused to buy TV. So my grandfather house got TV first. My grandmother house, my father's side, the maternal side, my father's side, maternal and paternal, both got TV first, not my house. My neighbor has TV. So what I used to do, I read. I read.
You read a lot.
Everything I could get my hands on. Not many books at home too, but whatever my father's stuff around, I just read. And then partly my auntie used to take me to Langkawi. My grandfather, after he retired, bought a land there and built a humble house there. My grandfather was a headmaster, so he had a lot, quite a lot of books. So finish all the Hardy Boys, the Nancy Drew there, Malay version, and then of course headmasters retired in I think he retired in late 70s. So all old books that he had, Merong Mahawangsa. So I devoured all that because there's nothing else. Langkawi by then didn't even have electricity.
Oh,
Yeah.
how did you go through that without electricity?
See, I mean, it was nicer than now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Quieter, more peaceful. So no electricity. So what else? So whatever book I could find, all the gila-gila.
Oh, that was your source of entertainment, right? The book.
Yeah. Just read all the time, and that's how I got interested in language since I was very young, and different period, and different genre. Gila-gila, and then Nancy Drew, Merong Mahawangsa, Hikayat Sejarah Melayu. Yeah, so different genres, different kind of Malays, if you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think your father's action of not buying a TV is actually good, right? It actually helps you in developing a habit.
The first TV was red.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Al-Mustaqeem. So now we would like to move on to see general overview of translation industry in Malaysia. So before we get into our first segment, we would like to know the general overview of translation industry in Malaysia. How would you describe the overall landscape of the translation industry in Malaysia today? Is it growing, shifting, or still developing?
Well, basically there are two translations, right? One more technical, document translation and that sort of things. I think ITBM, Institute Terjemahan BUKU, ITBM, they survive on that. The business translation, the document, the reports, the letters, official letter, that sort of certificates. You have to go to ITBM to get it, say, translated into Arabic, so you can go to the university in Jordan or in Egypt. But then literary translation, book translation. There are textbook translation and also the general one, novel, biography, history, religion, those things. When I first started, not many people were doing it. Even until I think that's one of the reason why ITBM was established. To encourage to do to translate more works into Malay language. Then of course the question, when you say translation, is it Malay into English or English into Malay or Malay into other languages? ITBM do both. They try also to promote Malaysian authors by translating, say, Pak Samad, Samad Said, and others into English. I think, one of the classics, I'm glad you have the classics there. One of the classics, I think Muhammad Haji Saleh translated one of the classics. It's just done last year, if I'm not mistaken, into English. By the way, Prof. Muhammad Haji Saleh is one great translator, especially I can't say I'm not very familiar with his Malay translation, but his English translation, so he can do both, Malay into Malay, Malay into English, English into Malay. So in general, I would say the non-fiction and fiction works, the translation, even though with the ITBM there, even DBP actually before ITBM used to, during the time of then pengarah DBP Tan Sri Hassan Ahmad, Tan Sri Hassan Ahmad was very much into translation. He himself did a translation of Sophie's World, but that was under ITBM. Anyhow, he was very much into, so DBP during his time translate quite a number of work, and then ITBM continued the work, but not so much from the independent, from the private publishers, except I guess the buku-buku agama, religious, I can't really recall Pustaka Fajar or something like that. Who they do translation of religious books, but even then, as far as I remember, they are not really translation from Arabic into Malay or English to Malay, but they adapted Indonesian translation. So what IBDE is doing now, for the first time, we are translating Imam Ghazali's Ihya Ulumuddin, the whole set of Ihya Ulumuddin. The original is 7 or 10 volume, but the Malay edition will be 20 volume. So we are translating that for the first time. But the book, Ihya Ulumuddin, Malay edition of the book, is already in the market since, if I'm not mistaken, since 60s. But that was adaptation from Indonesian. It's been in the market since 60s, but adaptation from Indonesian. We have a Malay edition of one of the most famous intellectual from Malaysia, the late Syed Hussein Al-Atas, intellectual masyarakat membangun. That was also adapted. He is a Malaysian. He write in English, translated into Indonesian, and then adapted into Malaysian. That's a sad affair of our translation world in Malaysia. And many years after it was translated into Indonesian. So it was quite slow, but now, I don't know, maybe since the popularity of Muhammad, more and more publishers are getting into translation. So just now, Cikgu Haris mentioned that he got a Biblio edition of my Politik Kandang. So that one was published by Biblio. So Biblio got is involved in translation. They are quite active since, I think, last 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. So more and publishers are involved. Sorry, it's a long answer.
It's okay. That's actually very interesting. So I think the time has come. We are actually moving on to our first segment, opportunities in the translation industry. So let's begin with our first main topic, opportunities for young translators, beginners, and students who are just stepping into the industry. There's growing demand in digital contents like subtitles, e-learning modules, and game localization. Do you see creative industries as a promising place for young translators?
I didn't get that.
Oh, you didn't get the question?
What's the question?
The question is like there's a growing demand in digital contents like subtitles, e-learning modules, and game localization. So, do you see creative industries as a promising place for young translators?
Yeah, commercial. I mean, I don't know so much about commercial, but let's say subtitle.
Yeah.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
this can be done by machine now.
Yeah.
It's quite easy and it's quite advanced now.
I see.
Machine translation, even for book, already some are doing machine translation for books. I've tried myself actually because it takes so long and a lot of effort to translate into Arabic. So once I tried,
Do you translate in
no,
for
I
Arabic?
just tried.
Oh, okay.
You know, like journal. I'm like a short. Was that a short entry? Try to translate from Arabic into Malay. It's quite good. I mean, what did I use? I think ChatGPT. It's quite good, and this is not really translation machine. I mean, it's not meant
for translation.
I guess for translation, book translation. ChatGPT. They are more specialized. I don't know what it's called, app or program for book translation. To the point that now publishers in as far as I know in Europe, they have in the clause. It's like when you want to translate a book, you have to obtain rights. You have to ask for permission from the original publisher, right? So to the point that now publishers in Europe starting to put a clause in the agreement that you are not supposed to use machine for translation.
Oh.
Yeah, and not only that, you are not supposed to train, because this program you have to train it to do translation. You are not supposed to train the program to do translation using this book that you asking the permission for. So to that point, subtitle, I mean,
very easily
can be done by ChatGPT, for instance. So I don't know much about all this. Maybe there are more job opportunity for programmers, whatever. Not so. I don't see so much for translators. For translators, for me, and because I'm biased too, I guess. Literary, you can use machine to translate a novel. In the end, you need
a human,
a damn good editor. That's what you need. And to be a good editor, I guess you have for translation, you need to have a lot of experience doing translation yourself to be a good editor. So you cannot avoid. You want to be a serious. Well, first, of course, you want to be a serious translator, you have to work on books. You have to translate books. You start with articles, for instance. You start with news articles, opinion piece, and then you move to book. There's no, if you want to be a serious translator. If you just want to make money, I frankly, I don't know. I don't think who takes serious, who's taking subtitles seriously anyway.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, even literary book translation. If you ask, if we see the younger generations now, I mean younger than you. I used to, I mean, in this kind of forum we call adik-adik, but now cannot do that anymore. Anak-anak, because my anak saya yang nombor 4 baru graduate Fine Arts UiTM minggu lepas. Was it 2 minggu lepas? Degree Fine Arts Shah Alam. So the younger generation, younger than you, you know, those who are in
high school,
primary school now, their English is good.
Yeah.
Probably they won't read Malay anymore. So if you ask me if as a translator, so what are you doing? I will say what I've been doing all this while since 20 years ago is about keeping the language. It's about fighting for the language. It's about growing the language. The Malay language is about that. And translation is mainly about that. It's mainly about expand. It's about keeping your own language. Is about knowledge transfer. Is about learning from others, from the world outside you. It's about that. So I guess don't ask me about commercial. So I'm not, I have not much idea. But if you ask how IBDE is doing, quite good. If you sell 120,000 per title, if you have 10 title, actually you're rich. No. So far, only one title is selling at 120,000 copies. But basically, if you have 10 titles that you can sell more than above 100,000 for this 10 title, you're rich. You're gonna be rich, yeah. We have 90 titles, unfortunately, 90 titles, but only one selling that good. The rest it's fine. It's fine. I mean, compared to when I just started, it take 1,000 copies. You still have stock after 3 years. So now it's like 1 year, 2,000 copies, not bad. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I have one more question about this segment actually. Okay, just now you said that like subtitles, when you're watching Netflix, you read the subtitles, it can be done by a machine, right? But what if there are a person who works as a translators for the Netflix or maybe YouTube? You think like the translators can also succeed internationally through this? Like the Malaysian translators, right? You say it can be done by a machine, but what if they got the job to actually translate the subtitle from Netflix or YouTube? They got the job here in Malaysia. Do you think that they can go far, like internationally? Do you think?
Again, I have no knowledge about the commercial translation. I have friends who used to do commercial. Not much money in it. Frankly, they said not much money in it. So again, in the book industry, book translation, even though, by the way, just so you know, we pay quite high. IBDE. So if you want to translate, come to IBDE. This is a promotion. If you are talking about future, money making enterprise, if you want to call it so, book translation still. You see, like in publishing, if you publish translation, actually is more costly than if you publish original, and especially if you want to go to get good translators, it's going to cost a lot. You have to be prepared to pay tens of thousands ringgit for one novel, for instance. But the fact that there are people every time say, now if IBDE open a call for a proposal or try to open advertisement for translators, hundreds will apply. So people are still quite, a lot of people are interested in doing in book translation. I'm not quite sure why. But I'm kind of sure that money is not the motive. It's about it's
passion,
about
maybe
passion. It's about the craft.
Because you said that you don't really do it for money, right?
Yeah. No, it's not really because of that. It's the craft, the challenge, getting taking the challenge posed by the text, especially by a difficult one. I will not attempt to translate Moby Dick, of course. I think that's impossible.
Okay.
But I would like to try one of the. I have translated Najib Mahfouz. Najib Mahfouz. That was fun. I mean, it's tough but fun. But really, it's fulfilling. It's you
Like,
have that
I think it's like-
satisfying. You have that satisfaction. I'm done. Yeah. Yes. Even Martin Ling's Muhammad, that was quite an experience. It's a life-changing experience, actually. That
I see.
book, translating that book, is life-changing experience.
Oh, how is
Really,
life changing
really,
to you?
yeah.
How it becomes life changing to you?
You really get in. I mean, because
you get-
the author wrote it with such a soul, with such a passion, such a the author, this is his what is it called, tribute to the prophet. He said he didn't feel like he's qualified to write about the prophet, but there's like something else is forcing him to write
I
this.
see.
So this is the best he could write about Muhammad, the best description that he can give about the prophet, and then you translate that. You have to go all the way into that, and it's it's really because I've studied many other sirah book, but you read I mean sirah book, especially the classics, the way they are written is just not very interesting. But this one, when you read, you can actually feel, you can, as if you can see what
What's
the prophet
going
is
on,
doing. As if you can see, if you read this book, as if you can see what the prophet is doing. When you try to translate, you have to go deeper.
Into the book.
You have to go deeper. Yeah, you have to feel. So when when there's this scene, this scene depicting how sad the prophet was when his son passed away. You have to be able to feel it to translate that. I always say translation is not finding, a Malay word for that
Good,
English
for
word.
another word,
It's finding something equivalent.
Yes.
And you have to know how to convey the sadness. You have to know how to convey the happiness. The basically the whole weight of the whatever scene portrayed in the original. You have to be able to transfer it. In Malay I call it padanan. Padanan. Translation is an act of finding the
a match.
padanan, the
Padanan.
match. So if the English or Arabic is 50% sad, so the Malay has to be 50% sad. It cannot be 100%. It cannot be 20%.
It has to be exactly the same.
Equivalent. Yeah. So yeah, it is life changing.
Thank you, sir. I think that was very incredibly meaningful. I think now let's move on to a topic that every translator has to face, the challenges.
Okay, so for our next segment, it's all about the realities of working in the translation field. It is about challenges. In Malaysia, translators deal with many difficulties, right? For example, maybe low payment rates or tight deadlines, challenges in, like you said just now, you need to translate something that can be controversial, something sensitive, right? And then even dealing with clients who don't fully understand what translators do. So from your experience, what do you think some of the most common challenges translators in Malaysia face today?
Not enough money to survive. Even though IBDE is paying well, I mean IBDE is paying quite well because of my experience, not having enough to survive is tough. That's why in another occasion in I think in Selangor, in one of the universities, I think it was University Islam Selangor, and they invited me. They asked about, get if they should make a translation a career. I said, it's a fine idea. It's gonna bring, it's satisfying, but if you really want to do like full-time translation, don't live in KL or in Shah Alam or in PJ or in Bandaraya Melaka. Live in Alor Gajah. If you live in, live in Kangar, you live in some remote area, you just send your work to KL. Then, I mean, you can have a nice life, actually, a nice life. The challenges, of course, late payments, that kind of thing. Of course, IBDE don't do that. We pay on time. But that's what I used to experience, waiting for checks. I used to, I think a number of times I did a translation for art exhibition for the catalog. So for art exhibition, they have catalog. So I did translation. I used a number of the catalog, waiting for the payment. And then I used also to do some official document. It was during the PM Najib time. I think some government document. So I used to do that. Also, waiting for the payment is quite tough. Other than that, there's a practical part, right? Challenges you're asking. Other than that, again, literary translation. You have deadline. You have to meet the deadline, but at the same time, you have to read a lot to be able to do translation. When translators ask me if they want to read to translate into Malay, for instance, they ask me, do they English into Malay? Do they have to be better in English or Malay? I said they have to be better in Malay. Your English can be so-so, but of course it has to be adequate. But you have to be really, really good in Malay. So Malay translators, for instance, need to finish all of that. I haven't because of the deadlines. But I mean, ideally, I should be able. I should have finished all of that. Classics, the Kayasan Karyawan. How do you find the words if you didn't read? You can find it from your experience. You learn whatever you heard from your grandmother, from your grandfather. Word that you get from your family that you absorb during, since you're little. But still, reading reading books is very important. So time constraint, I would say time constraint. Yeah. Other than that, challenges, I think, that's
on the literary lah.
Yeah.
Because you need to translate the metaphor, simile, right?
Yeah.
Then you need to be able to
That's
know.
your capital. Words. Words that you have in your memory. That's your capital. So you have to be able to recall and retrieve when the time comes. Sometimes it's not. You have to pray a lot.
Well, I guess reading is the actual key in becoming as good as you are, I think. Because you read a lot since you were a kid, right? Okay, now moving on. So, sir, how about the challenges you personally went through earlier in your career? How did you overcome those challenges? do you think the translation industry is becoming too competitive, or is there still room for new talent like us? Maybe you can share about your challenges you face first.
What kind of talent? Yeah, I think there's, again, I'm talking about book translation. There are still there's still a lot of works we haven't translated into Malay. How many great novels of the world, not just English. I mean, I mentioned Najib Mahfouz. I have translated only one out of his tetralogy. Wait, is it trilogy or tetralogy, Najib Mahfouz? His great work. 3 or 4 novels, right? Greatest novel. I have only translated one. I'm not sure I'm going to do a second one. That's Najib Mahfouz alone. I know we have translated, I think, Marquez, 100 Years of Solitude. Somebody have translated that. But I don't think it was done from Marquez wrote in Spanish, is it? Spanish? You should know this. So it's not translated. Basically, it's not translated from the original. But and then other novels that I know, DBP, I think, published some of the translation. Najib Mahfouz was one of them, actually. I don't. It's not. It was the first one. The first Najib Mahfouz novel in Malay was not translated from Arabic. So there are still many. My point is still many books we need to translate. Many names that Malaysian should learn. The question is, if the younger one, the younger generation are reading in Malay, what's the need for translation? Then, of course, the second reason why you do, or the first reason actually, why you do translation is to keep the language alive, and that's the main mission. So yeah, so still a lot of, we are still useful.
Thank you, sir. Okay, now we're moving on for the final segment. Let's look ahead into the future, which is the innovations and technology in translation.
All right, I guess this is the exciting part. You have mentioned before, we also use machine in translation, like we now have AI, right? Artificial intelligence. So especially with AI becoming a big player in language work, people say AI is replacing translators. So in your opinion, do you think the translation career is still relevant in the age of AI?
Again, you have to be an expert because AI cannot beat you. AI have never experienced a rainy night in Langkawi in 1979. You know?
Yeah.
So AI will not be able to beat you. So if you do this, I mean, there will be, the way I see it, in the AI era, you know, the human survivor is the best in what he's doing. So don't be worried so much, but work hard. You have to work hard. You have to learn more, actually, in these days. Again, as I said, I've tried AI. You still need to do editing to make it like really, you know, the flow. To get a nice flow to the writing, to the language, to make it coherent. You still it's a help for translator, for instance, but is no help at all if you don't have experience doing translation yourself. So still, I mean, it's useful, but the human, you just cannot,
A bit.
yeah, cannot do away. Yeah.
Okay, so one more question. Okay, just imagine, okay, we don't know in the future, what if AI built specifically for legal, medical, or maybe Quranic translation? Do you think future AI will become field specialized, or will humans still dominate that specialized areas? From my perspective, I don't think so, but what are your perspective?
Yeah. If we look at Islamic studies, for instance, you mentioned Quran, right? AI will be very useful in terms of that it can pull a lot of data from different, so many sources. But in Islamic learning tradition, it's very important that you learn directly from the master, so you have the sanad, you have the change of transmission. So this word means this according to my teacher, Mr. Haris, who learned it from his teacher, Mr. Lokman, who learned that this word means that from his teacher. You know, AI won't have that, you know. So in Islamic tradition, you still need a sheikh, you know, you still to have that full authority. But as a sheikh, for instance, you, of course, you use AI so much easier to I'm trying to recall, all right, this one from which kitab, you know, with the AI help, yes, you can, yeah. But in the end, what give you authority, what make you more authoritative than others, how much sanad that you have, you know. So that's important in Islamic learning. In other field, I'm not quite sure, but in medical, for instance, I guess it's the same. You know, you can pull, you can refer to so many resources in you know, in blink of an eye, but in the end, the doctor experience will tell you which one is, you know, which one is. That's why even now, if you go to the clinic, doctor will say, don't go home and Google, please. Yeah.
Okay, sir. I have one more question. How has the translation industry actually evolved in Malaysia over the past 20 years? How has the translation industry evolved in Malaysia over the past 20 years?
I don't think we have enough time for that. And plus, you have said one more question 3 times already. So this is the this is the third last. But yeah, it's evolving. As I said, the fact that there are more publishers are going into translation, I think that's positive. We have IBDE have started translating, say, colonial writers. We have started that. I don't know why it took so long. Yeah, but anyhow, we have started that, translating colonial writers. But I can see that in Malaysia now, genre, I can see at least a couple more publishers who are going into that, you know, trying to translating works on Meru Mahawangsa. Not Meru Mahawangsa per se, but studies on Meru Mahawangsa done in English, translated into Malay, and more publishers are going into translation, and more young people who are passionate, who want to translate this, who want to translate that, want to translate poetry, novel. So I think it's positive and is going, is expanding. I'm glad to see.
Okay, thank you so for the insightful explanation for this segment. I believe you all have learned something from it, right? So for the next segment, we are going to do a Q&A session from the floor. For those who wants to ask some question, please join the PITA YouTube live and write your question in the comment section. But before we have our Q&A session, let's have a 2 minutes commercial break.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, we are back and we are going to continue our forum with the question and answer segment, Q&A session. So for those who are here, like Putri said, please join the PITA YouTube live and write your question in the comment section if you have some. So we will read the questions here and then Mr. Al-Mustaqeem will be answering your questions. Okay, so the first question from Muhammad Jafari Jantan. Bagaimanakah industri penterjemahan di Malaysia boleh diperkasakan agar mampu bersaing di peringkat serantau dan global, terutama dari segi dasar, latihan dan standard profesional?
Salah satu contohnya, sekali lagi minta maaf saya sebut IBDE sebagai contoh lah. Tapi kali ini bukan sebab ni. Sebab IBDE mendapat salah satu cara dia kalau kerajaan support. Macam IBDE kita dapat support daripada kerajaan Selangor.
I see.
8, kalau lebih kurang dah 8 tahun.
Oh.
Dah 8 tahun.
Lama jugalah.
Ya. Sebab macam saya sebut tadi, terjemahan kos tinggi. Dan kita nak encourage penterjemah. Sebab kalau masa saya mula terjemah dulu, satu buku yang 200-300 page dapat RM3,000. Macam mana saya nak hidup?
Oh, yelah betul lah kan. Sebab dah siap buku
Ya.
baru dapat payment kan.
Ya, dan RM3,000 untuk kerja yang mungkin makan masa 4-5 bulan.
Tak
Macam
boleh
mana
nak
saya nak hidup?
kan for yang survive.
So dekat situ kerajaan kena support. Bila kerajaan support ni, kalau sebab soalan dia memperkasakan kan, dengan insentif yang macam tu lah, yang orang kata apa, penterjemahan tu boleh berkembang. Bukan saja terjemahan lah, tapi dunia buku secara umum. Sebab kan kita ni berdepan dengan iPad lah, apa semua, dengan laptop, dengan basically kita sebenarnya kita berdepan dengan zaman visual. Zaman visual, orang dah tak membaca. Akhbar dah mati.
Betul.
Journalism dah mati.
Betul, ya.
Orang dah kurang baca. Kalau dulu orang nak buat keputusan nak undi siapa, orang baca
surat khabar.
Orang baca rencana dalam
Betul.
berita harian, dalam utusan, dalam The Star, dalam NST. Hari ni video tamamat mana.
Ya, betul. Kadang-kadang tak ada macam source
kan, so yang tu yang inform public opinion. So dalam masa yang mencabar macam ni, kalau kerajaan support dunia yang kita kata commercially tak viable ataupun commercially kurang viable, saya rasa itu salah satu cara untuk perkasa lah. Dan kami minta maaf saya sebut IBDE sekali lagi, kita tunjuk contoh bila kerajaan support, kita nampak. Saya nak kata tak claim pun, ni macam claim lah. Since ada IBDE, maknanya orang lain pun berani untuk datang involve dalam dunia terjemahan. Syarikat-syarikat penerbit lain berkembang, kedai buku bertambah, penjual buku bertambah. Jadi dia ada macam satu ekosistem yang kita berjaya kembangkan dalam skala yang terhad, dalam skala setakat yang IBDE mampu. Tapi sebab dia apa? Sebab ada support sikit daripada kerajaan. Tak banyak pun support tu, 1 juta 2 juta setahun daripada kerajaan. Jadi dari situ yang kita memang kita ada sikit sebanyak mampu kita menyumbang kepada perkembangan industri penerbitan, penterjemahan. Yang tu yang kita nampaklah salah satu dia. Ada cara-cara lain yang dari segi dasar. Tadi soalan tadi sebut dasar kan. Saya secara peribadi, saya tak percaya yang kerajaan saja sepatutnya involve. Sepatutnya masyarakat juga involve dengan membeli contohnya. Tapi dalam masyarakat ni bukan setakat orang yang mampu membeli 1-2 buah buku. Banyak syarikat corporate yang banyak duit. Kita bukan nak paksa, tapi basically dari segi dasar kerajaan boleh bagi insentif. Contohlah, saya ni tak pandai sangat apa pasal fiskal polisi ke apakah. Contohnya kerajaan boleh bagi higher tax cut untuk syarikat yang sponsor kegiatan penerbitan, kegiatan penterjemahan, especially penterjemahan. Sebab macam saya sebut tadi, banyak sangat buku yang belum diterjemah ke bahasa Melayu. Ini penting. Bahasa tak berkembang, melainkan especially dalam keadaan hari ini yang semakin kurang orang guna bahasa Malaysia. Penterjemahan buku yang akan mampu mengembangkan bahasa Melayu. So itu sangat penting. Jadi kalau kalau kita concern, kalau kerajaan concern, kalau masyarakat concern tentang bahasa, ini usaha yang sepatutnya kita lakukan. Malaysia banyak duit, itu saya tak risau. Cumanya macam mana kita nak channel tu, ke mana kita nak channel tu. Kalau tak habis-habis buat program tukar minyak motor, minyak hitam motor free, bagus program tu, tapi janganlah kita stop di situ. Ada banyak benda lain yang mungkin kita katakan tak ketara, tak tangible, tapi sangat-sangat penting untuk jiwa bangsa. Alright.
Terima kasih Cik Mustaqeem untuk jawapan tu. Untuk soalan yang kedua daripada Kamarul Anwar Sidik 643. Bagaimana memastikan bahasa-bahasa etnik dan tempatan tidak terpinggir dalam dunia terjemahan moden?
Saya sendiri banyak bergantung kepada memori saya di dapur nenek saya. Sebab di situ saya dapat banyak bahasa, banyak perkataan yang baru. Masa saya kecil-kecil dulu duduk dengan apa nek saya pergi ke pasar, duduk di dapur dia, kemudian mak-mak saudara ni, kemudian masa makan ramai-ramai dengan pak saudara apa semua, bahasa-bahasa perkataan-perkataan yang digunakan tu yang saya masih ingat, saya banyak bergantung pada tu. Jadi bila kita buat terjemahan tu, kita cuba nak tengok macam saya sebut tadi, padanan untuk perkataan sekian. Katakan untuk apa ni bila dia sebut katakan satu yang saya ingat macam ni bila dia sebut katakan dia baling atau lempar ataupun apa satu-satu tu kan, dia tak sama kan, dia ada yang ada baling
nampak,
macam tu, ada baling macam ni, ada. So yang tu kadang-kadang kita tak mampu nak ni, melainkan kita bergantung pada memori kita. Kadang-kadang kita perlu cari dalam bahasa dialek kan. Kalau kata macam saya tak tahu dalam bahasa baku, contohnya kalau buat macam tu macam tu apa, tapi dalam bahasa dalam dialek kalau di Kedah katakan tu kenjui. Kenjui. Jadi ya, dalam terjemahan kita kadang-kadang kita bergantung pada bahasa dialek untuk ni. Sebab tu dalam kamus pun kan ada yang ada perkataan-perkataan yang dia memang dia sebut dekat situ, ini dari bahasa Kedah, ini bahasa Kelantan.
Betul.
Saya dalam sepanjang 20 tahun menterjemah memang banyak saya ambil dari dialek. Contoh satu lagi kalau saya boleh bagi macam the other sebagai satu konsep. The other sebagai satu konsep. Jadi maknanya kita Melayu, the others. Alright? Yang bukan Melayu. So the others ni apa dalam bahasa Melayu dia?
Dan lain-lain?
Panjang kan?
Betul.
Jadi saya cari, akhirnya saya ambil satu konsep Jawa, konsep lian. Ya. Yang lain-lain kan? Jawa ada konsep lian. Lian tu exactly the others.
In one word.
Ya, tapi dalam satu perkataan. Itu jadi dan dia memang konsep falsafah yang sama falsafah dia dengan the others. Jadi memang kita gali lah dari bahasa Nusantara, dari dialek dan sebagainya. Jadi memang apa benda tu selain pada mengembangkan bahasa, tapi juga merakam pengalaman bahasa etnik. Merakam pengalaman bahasa etnik. Yang saya rasa pun sangat penting untuk dirakam sebab kalau katakan macam bahasa generasi
akan datang
di bawah saya ni bercakap lain daripada generasi saya dan lain daripada generasi mak bapak saya cuba absorb bahasa generasi
lama,
bahasa generasi mak bapak dan datuk saya, tapi adik-adik saya tak berapa nak mampu, dah berlainan dah bahasa. Jadi di Kedah kadang-kadang saya marah dekat anak-anak saya. Nak makan apa ni, makan nasi kemudian minta kicap. Saya kata dia di Kedah tak ada kicap, toyu. Yang ada. Orang Kedah lah dah lupa dah toyu. Sos cili. Tak ada di Kedah ni, sos cabai.
Ya betul.
Jadi bahasa dia berubah kalau kita tak rakam, dia akan hilang. Ya, dia akan hilang. Ya.
Okey, terima kasih Encik Al-Mustaqeem untuk jawapan menarik ini. Jawapan ni dia ada kaitan dengan Encik Mustaqeem daripada Kedah ya? Menarik Sertai cabai. Naiklah. Know you. Okey, untuk soalan seterusnya. Okey, daripada ni madam kita ni, Madam Hu Fang Jing. Okey. Are there differences in how proofreading and editing are carried out when working from a source language into a target language and working from a target language back into the source language? Take your time.
Ya, ada perbezaan macam mana proofreading editing. Ya, ada beza lah. Basically macam kalau kalau ada beza, dia akan ada beza dari segi editing dan juga dari segi proofreading. Dan kita perlu kadang-kadang penerbit ni perlu decide dia punya sistem jugalah. So contohnya kalau katakan dalam isu saya rasa yang kontroversi, contohnya kalau katakan macam terjemahan Bible, kan, terjemahan teks agama. Jadi pernah sekali itu katakan ada penterjemah yang ada orang bantah bila kita gunakan hijrah untuk bukan Muslim. Kan, saya kata hijrah lah. Hijrah lah. Siapa pun hijrah, apa betul. Orang Afrika ke orang mana, kan dia Kristian ke Yahudi ke apa. Kan kalau dia hijrah lah, dia bukan khusus untuk Muslim tapi bagi setengah orang tak. Jadi dalam proses editing tu maknanya walaupun clearly dalam bahasa English dia sebut hijrah ataupun immigration ke apa ke, tapi dalam proses suntingan tu dia mungkin akan jadi lain. Dalam suntingan bahasa Melayu tu dia akan jadi lain. Proofreading pun sama dari segi orang kata yang paling jelas sebenarnya kalau proofreading macam mana English heja nama Asian, especially heja nama orang Melayu atau nama orang Arab. Contohnya kalau katakan dalam bahasa Inggeris katakan heja Aisyah, katakan AISHA, kan? Jadi proofreading dalam bahasa English, dalam bahasa Inggeris dia kena check Aisyah. Tapi bila kita ke bahasa Melayu mungkin jadi AISHAH ataupun AISYAH. So dia memang ada beza lah. Nama tempat pun sama juga, Mecca dengan Mekah.
Menarik. Nama saya Dami Aisyah, macam menarik lah. Dia related, faham? Okay, mungkin kita ada soalan terakhir lah untuk Encik Al-Mustaqeem. Okay.
Daripada Afiq, as we all know, many students don't know what kind of translation jobs even exist. Besides books and documents, what emerging areas are opening up for translators today?
Saya terus terang saya tak tahulah untuk untuk penterjemah ni. Dia ada penterjemah katakan penterjemah yang verbal ni kan, yang selari, apa dia panggil? Lupa dah saya apa istilah dia. Penterjemah selari, maknanya ada event apa-apa ataupun ada talk apa-apa yang dia buat parallel translation. Parallel translation itu satu peluang memerlukan skill yang berlainan. Tak banyak orang boleh buat benda tu dan bayaran dia agak lumayan. Tapi sama ada dia boleh jadi full time job, saya tak pastilah. agak memenatkan kerja tu. Saya rasa menterjemah di keyboard dan komputer 2 jam mungkin tak lebih memenatkan daripada menterjemah parallel translation selama setengah jam. Saya rasa. Tapi itu satu benda, satu orang kata apa, satu peluang lah. Yang lain saya tak pasti lah. Dalam sebab banyak yang lain saya tak pasti lah. Macam saya sebut tadi lah, banyak yang mesin translation dah ambil alih, yang buat instruction bila beli TV ada panduan kena pasang soket dulu, apa semua benda-benda tu yang mesin translation boleh buat kan. So yang lain saya tak pasti. Mungkin ni kot apa tu, billboard, copywriting. Tapi yang tu kan dia sekali lagi dia kena ada orang kata apa, kepakaran khusus lah. Maknanya dia bukan setakat menterjemah, tapi dia mesti mampu, dia faham macam mana nak buat copywriting. Banyak terjemahan yang banyak, kalau kita tengok banyak signboard terjemahan tak bagus dia punya terjemahan dia. Ini bukan masalah sebab dia tak ada skill untuk copywriting. Ya.
Okey, terima kasih Encik Al-Mustaqeem menjawab soalan-soalan yang ditanya. Okey, before kita akhiri kita punya forum discussion ni, Encik Al-Mustaqeem ada tak kata-kata semangat untuk orang-orang muda di Malaysia yang nak mencuburi bidang translation ni?
Tak pandai saya nak bagi kata-kata semangat. Tapi iyalah, kalau untuk orang kata apa, untuk encourage ni, saya sebenarnya bukan encourage jugalah, sebenarnya ini macam seruan lah. Saya nak mengajak ramai-ramai yang muda-muda lagi ni, yang masih ada banyak energi ni, ada banyak masa ni, untuk buat terjemahan. Kalaupun bukan untuk buat duit, tapi maknanya sebagai satu pengalaman, satu cara yang bermakna untuk mengisi masa selain daripada. Jadi jangan banyak sangat TikTok.
Yelah, sekarang banyak
sikit terjemah. Sebab apa? Sebab orang kata apa, mungkin agak klise, tapi bahasa jiwa bangsa, dan saya rasa ini sangat penting, especially dalam zaman hari ini. Zaman hari ini yang kita banyak kehilangan nilai
bangsa
kita
kan?
Jadi semua benda kita ukur dari segi monetary, dari segi kewangan, dari segi komersial, benda. Jadi nilai ni yang kita perlu jaga, dan salah satu dia bahasa ni yang sangat-sangat penting untuk orang kata apa, untuk kita pelihara nilai kita sebagai
orang Melayu.
Bukan sekat orang Melayu lah, apa-apa
masyarakat
bangsa
Malaysia
sekalipun, sebagai bangsa manusia sebenarnya. Ya. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Sir untuk meluangkan masa dengan kami, cerita-cerita yang menarik, pengalaman. Saya pun tak tahu kan sebenar Encik Mustaqeem pernah translate Arabic punya teks juga, English, Malay. And terima kasih untuk semua yang hadir pada hari ini. Kami harap forum hari ini memberi bagi clarity, bagi macam inspirasi, sebab kita tak pernah dengar daripada actual translator kan, daripada translator sebenar. Encik Mustaqeem ni pula memang sangat berpengalaman, dan beri kami keyakinan lah untuk ceburi bidang terjemahan kat Malaysia ni. Untuk mana-mana yang sertai secara online dekat our YouTube live kita ni, boleh scan QR code yang akan dipaparkan nanti untuk link kehadiran lah. Okay. Saya rasa ni kita akhiri kita punya forum today. Terima kasih semua yang hadir, dan terima kasih juga Mr. Al-Mustaqeem, and I think have a good day everyone. Thank you.